how to manage security challenges and mitigate open source risk. Okay, so I will be showing you some examples of security defects which can be detected at the time of static testing itself, as well as how to mitigate open source risk if you are using any third-party library, or if you are using any of your open source library as part of your project. Okay. Great. So this was food for thought. This is what Meteonic always says. Can we make process so strong that once we write a code and it runs fine without any testing? So Meteonic has partnered with 30 plus tools which will help you to achieve this. And today we are going to see one of a nice tool called Quan, which can make sure a developer writes a bug-free code. I will show you a live demo of that as well. So these are the topics we are going to cover today. So we'll say something like what is SAST, static application testing, as well as source code analysis, and how to maintain security standards, and what are the checkers, what are the rules that are required to maintain security standards as per industry specific guidelines. And we will show you how you can create module specific report as well if you have some open source libraries as part of your application. And we'll go in deep about static code analysis actually. So what are the defects that can be captured by static code analysis and how it can be detected, even that. And then SCA, the source code analysis, the source code composition analysis also we can say. So there are some tools available in the market who can analyze your entire project and tell you what are the open source libraries you have as part of your project, and then what are all the open source license vulnerabilities or open source security vulnerabilities you have in your project. There are some tools to do that as well. So we are going to see one nice tool who can do that as well today. Okay, and additional learning resources. So post to this session, we'll be happy to provide a free trial license for you. In case if you want to try any of our offerings, or in case if you want to try Quan or any of our offerings, you can opt for a free trial as well. So guys, please feel free to post your queries in chat. I myself or someone from my team will definitely address it as early as possible. These are the myths and truths about static code analysis. This we always hear from our customer places actually. So people may think like static code analysis tools are just glorified compilers. So whatever our compiler reports, right, the compiler warnings, the compiler errors. So given the same or similar issues can be detected by a static code analysis tool. People may have that opinion, but the truth is static code analysis tools goes much deeper and finds more complex issues than compiler can. For an example, a good static code analysis tool will compile your source code and will create ASTs in backend by performing inter-procedural analysis, and it will try to cover 100% code, 100% path, and 100% branch. The way it works is a static code analysis tool will see if true occurs, what will happen? If true false true occurs, what will happen? If false true false occurs, what will happen? Whether it may create any vulnerability or not. So a good static code analysis tool will try to cover 100% branch, 100% loops as well. Okay. And static analysis tools can be used by anyone. So there are some memory leaks what we see in our field, right? They may take some days for a manual tester to detect it or for a developer to detect it, because there is something called data flow defects. Okay. Because of your A.C file, you may have some problems in your B.C file. Because of your B.C file, your C.C file may have some memory leaks. So those kind of critical data flow defects can be captured by a good static code analysis tool, and it cannot be captured by compilers. And manually detecting such problems will take days and sometimes weeks also. Okay. And the final truth, every developer wants to write a good code, right? So they can fix the defects manually, but still, if they have an automation tool like Quan, then they can easily fix it. Easily identify it, easily fix it, and sometimes Kiuwan kind of tools will give you possible remediation as well. Why do we need static code analysis tool? It's an interesting question, right? So most of you guys may have some static code analysis tools in place already. Still, if you guys do not have static code analysis tools in place, it's a good question to be asked. Why do we need static code analysis? Why do we need static code analysis tools to do that? Okay. But a good static code analysis tool will help you in reviewing the source code methodologically. That means static code analysis is a big spectrum actually. Okay. So detecting defects also can be considered as static code analysis. In the same way, maintaining your architecture, understanding your code flow, understanding your project architecture also can be considered as static code analysis. In both the ways, static code analysis tools will help you to minimize your load. Okay? The same way, a tool can give you 100% coverage. Manually covering 100% may not be possible at all nowadays, at least in C++. Okay. And when you do reverse engineering, a good static analysis tool or an architecture management tool will definitely help you. And a good static analysis tool again will help you to make sure you follow industry standards. So in case if you guys are into automotive, you may need to follow MISRA, AutoSAR and CERT standards, right? And if you guys are into medical, then you may follow HIPAA. If you guys are into payment gateways or financial domain, you may need to follow PCI DSS standard. So all those standards can be verified easily with the tool, a good static analysis tool. So I will show you a demo of Quan and how Quan can help you to maintain your industry standards also. This is a decision taking metrics for a static analysis tool. In case, whenever you want to choose a static analysis tool, there are 500 plus static analysis tools available in the market. Okay. When you want to select the best one, select the better one, what are the defects you are looking to be detected? Is it security issues? Is there application crashes? Or is there memory leaks? Or do you need a tool to improve your quality? Do you need a tool to detect all security vulnerabilities? Or do you need a tool just to maintain your industry coding guidelines or your internal coding guidelines? So these are decision making criteria. Additionally, what I would say is, you have to think about false positive and false negative rates when you choose any tool. So false positive is something where there is no problem, but the static analysis tool will tell you that is a problem. It's a false alarm, you can say. Okay. And the second criteria is false negative. There is a defect, but the tool will not tell you that there is a defect. That's false negative, right? So what we say is false positives are okay up to some extent, but false negatives shouldn't be taken. The tool may give 5 to 6% false alarms, but it should not leave any defects. So with Kiuwan, it has 4,500 plus checkers to detect all possible vulnerabilities that are present in the source code. I will show you the entire list of checks. I will show you the entire list of rules that Quan has in my live demo. So these are some category of defects. What can be detected by static code analysis tool? Buffer overflows, null pointer exception, memory leak, uninitialized data usage, and platform dependencies like Little Indian, Big Indian issues, concurrency violations like deadlocks, and divided by zero occurrences, resource leak, and unvalidated user input is coming from some untrusted source, data leaks, or maybe SQL injections, file injections, path injections. So those kind of critical security vulnerabilities also can be captured by advanced static code analysis tools. Okay. So today we are going to see a tool called Kiuwan. Before that, guys, if you have any queries, please feel free to post it in chat. I'll be happy to address it. Okay. Great. So today we are going to see more about a tool called Kiuwan. So Kiuwan is an security testing tool, we would say. Okay, static application security tool. So Kiuwan will analyze your entire source code for possible vulnerabilities that can crash your application and that can make your application more vulnerable for hacking. So basically, Quan has three modules. The first one is Quan for security, which can detect security vulnerabilities. Second one is code analysis. So that module is responsible to detect quality related vulnerabilities. And the third one, we have something called Insight. It's a new feature what most of the static code analysis tools do not have. Kiuwan Insight, we say that. Okay. So what Kiuwan Insight will do is it will analyze your entire project and tell you what are the open source libraries you are using as part of your project and what kind of open source licenses you may need to abide by. Additionally, what are the open source vulnerabilities that are present in your project against this database. So Quan is an static application testing tool. Additionally, it can be used to verify your third-party analysis tools also. Okay. And Quan itself has 4,500 plus checkers, as I mentioned. That includes industry standard checks like MISRA, OWASP, CART, PCADSS. All those standards also can be verified with Quan. Okay. And as our webinar title says, Quan can be integrated as part of your DevOps. Quan can be integrated as part of your DevSecOps because Quan can be used to detect almost all critical vulnerabilities that are present in your applications and powerful static code analysis tools. Okay? And we have direct plugins available for almost all well-known CI/CDs, almost all well-known repositories, DevOps pipeline, DevOps tools, and everything. And we do have plugins for all well-known development IDs as well. So these are the languages that are supported in Quan. So Quan supports 30 plus languages that includes Golang, JavaScript, Catalan, ASP.NET, almost all I would say. Even Swift also is supported in Quan. So we support 30 plus well-known established languages. And we have dedicated checkers for each language actually. Integrations. So Quan can be integrated with Eclipse, Visual Studio, IntelliJ IDEA, Rational Products, and almost all build tools. Apart from that, Quan executions can be triggered from command line also. That means Quan can be integrated with any CI, Quan can be integrated with any CD tool which can process command line arguments. Even in Jenkins, you have something called batch build, right? In the same way, if any CI, any CD tool can take batch or command to get executed inside that, then Quan can be easily integrated. That's no problem to see. And bug trackers, we can directly interact with some bug trackers. Apart from that, Quan results can be exported in XLS, means the CSV file, and then PDF format. So the CSV format can be exported, can be imported in many bug tracking tools like Jira to create tickets automatically. Okay, so everything can be automated. So Quan has direct plugins available for all well-known IDEs, and Quan can work with all build systems because we have direct integration, direct plugins available anyways. And for bug trackers, Quan results can be exported in CSV, and the CSV file can be imported within your bug tracking tool to create automatic tickets or automatic cases. So we have direct integration available for almost all the tools available in your DevOps cycle. Okay. Additionally, the most important thing is that whenever someone commits the source code, a static analysis tool, analysis should get initiated automatically. That's the most important thing, right? For an example, Shiva is trying to commit a source code to my repository. I'm using GitHub, let's say. So the GitHub itself should say like, Shiva, thank you so much. You are trying to commit a source code. I'm happy. But the source code you are trying to commit has 30 Kiuwan defects. So do you really want to commit it or you want to rework on it? Even your GitHub itself will say that. So this means your repository itself will get only cleared code. Your repository will not get a buggy code. Quan will make sure that's done. That's one thing. Second one, anyway, we do have development plugin, and Quan can be integrated as part of a repository also. And the third one is on your CI/CD pipeline. For an example, let's say if you use Jenkins, in Jenkins there is an option called if the build fails. If your build is having some problem, you can make the job fail, right? Or it can be fail automatically also. You can set it whatever you need, right? In the same way, in Jenkins, you can put a rule through our plugin itself, stating that if there are any Quan critical defects found, you please make this build failed. You mark this build failed in Jenkins. You can put a rule in Jenkins. And interestingly, within Jenkins web portal itself, you can see Quan result and it will tell you. If there is no defect, it will say pass, success. If there are 2 or 3 critical vulnerabilities has been detected, right? Quan will say it's failed because there are 3 defects. So the automatic failing can be done with Quan in Jenkins and Jenkins kind of CI/CDs. So they are there. Quan can be used as SaaS solution, and Quan can be used as on-prem solution also. So maybe for this demo, I will use my SaaS. But in case if you want to deploy Quan as an on-prem solution, right, even that is possible. So using this thing. Here it is. So you'll be given a unique username and password, and with that you can log in. Here you can see user management, you can see account management and everything. So you can, if you want to create more users, you can even create more users, and you can assign specific roles and all. So here, these are the projects I have: Cobalt demo, Spiral demo, and webcode.net demo. If we click and upload all the results, right, I will be able to see the result. So if you see here, in this project, Sparkle demo, the security rating that has been given by Kiuwan is single star. So to achieve 5-star rating, I may need to spend 366 hours, right? And there are 250 very high vulnerabilities and 127 high vulnerabilities has been reported in Quan. And these are the lines of code, usual lines of code, and files. 152 files were there. The total vulnerability number is 588. And these are the top 10 vulnerabilities: injection, file handling, information. These are all critical security vulnerabilities. Okay. And the worst files, here the real beauty comes. The first one is Java, which has the .java file, which has more critical defects. The second one is JSP file, you can see. So under a single Quan project, you can analyze hybrid application also. That means if your application has some Java code, some JSP code, some PHP code, some XML code, or maybe some C++ code, still there's no problem. The entire project can be analyzed under a single spectrum or under a single project in Quan. Okay. And as I mentioned, Quan has 3 main modules. The first one is code security. Second one is code analysis for quality related vulnerability detection. And there's something called Insight. So Insight is responsible to generate reports actually. Means the third party analysis, license check and all these things. Okay. So if you want to get more information about very high defects, just click here. So it opens like these are the injection vulnerability, file handling vulnerabilities, and by language. So in this project, Java defects are more, HTML defects are less, Python defects are there. There are some JSP defects also. Okay. And here you can see the filterings. Quan is very user-friendly tool, I would say. So priorities, you can select based on priority, you can select based on characters, and there's something called normatives. So normative means nothing but your internal coding or industry coding guidelines. So if you want to see the defects that are reported under PCI DSS, right, you just select PCI DSS. Something like that. And we can group the issue based on rule or a file. Maybe by default it will be rule, so we can see the rule now. Okay. This is how it explains you the problem. See here, what it shows is improper neutralization of input during web page generation. And the CWE number is 79, and it has been reported under security defect, and the vulnerability type is it's an injection vulnerability. And here are some normatives. So under all these standards, it's a problem. You can see CERT, CWE, OWASP, PCA DSS, and all. If you want to get more information, right, I can just maximize the screen also. Okay. So what it says is improper neutralization of input during web page generation. It's a defect, and under all these standards, it's a problem. Okay, so to get more information about it, just click on this, expand the arrow, and it will go till your root of the defect. So here it says that training path means nothing but your root cause of the problem, and the container where the problem is occurred. Line number is 62, and the line is here. So Quan will give you a clear information that is required to fix the problem. And additionally, if you can get more information about this category of defect, right, you just click on our documentation, the help menu. In description, we will tell you what do we mean by improper utilization of input. And if you don't fix it, what will happen? And possible remediation, possible solution, how you can resolve it. STW reference number 79. And under all these standards, it's a problem. Okay, done. And some global references. So here itself we can refer our documentation, the description, remediation has been given. Apart from that, we can redirect you to global documentation also. Here it is. And here is an violation code example and a fixed code example. So with the help of this, you can easily identify the problem, understand the problem, and maybe you can fix the problem as well. Okay, that's there. And the code analysis part is also almost same. So you can see quality related vulnerabilities, securities, and everything has been reported here. You can see. Okay, and the most beautiful one would be like insight, the licenses. So here in this project, there are 20 security risks, and by language also there are 20. Only Java has a defect. So by security risk, it's 20. Okay. And here it says it's a component and a vulnerability numbers. There are two vulnerabilities. Version, file name has been given, Java has been given, all the risk associated with it also has been given. So there's something else CVE number here. So the CVE number and the CVE reference will come into play when you have open source file vulnerabilities. Okay. Because these are all coming from open source vulnerability reports directly. So we'll give you some more information here as well. So in this project, there are some vulnerabilities that are reported under CVE. This CVE. Okay. And the licenses part. So there are 6 license types that has been detected in Quan. Means 6 libraries are reported, and top 5 used is here. Apache license. Apache license has been used in 12 components, and Eclipse license has been used in 2 components. So all these things will be here. Yeah. So here are clear information about the license usage. The description also has been given, and the version also has been given. From where you have downloader also has been given. Possible download. Okay. And the final one is security. This is what Equifax case study we have seen, right? Here it is. See. So I'm using this library, this component, I'm using it. What is it component? I'm using this component, which is licensed under Apache, that's fine. And the CVSS 2 score is this, CVSS 3 score is this, and it's coming under network related attack. All the details are here. Okay. So Quan will try to give you as much as information possible in single dashboard. Okay, and running Quan is also pretty simple and straightforward. You just need to execute on jar file. That's it. So Quan can be executed in Windows as well as Linux. There is no problem. So Quan is a platform independent tool which can run on any platform. Means Windows and Linux are the mostly used platforms, right? So Quan can be executed in both the places. There's no problem.